Beautiful people, you're welcome to another tutorial. Today is day 9 on my 30 days of how. You want to see how this look was created? Keep watching. So going straight into this look, I started out by cleaning my model's face. It's important to start off with a clean canvas. Then of course I went ahead and I shaped her eyebrow. Today I made use of both razor blade and scissors. My preference, you could use either of both or you could use both, depends on what you want. As soon as I was done with the eyebrows, I went into hydrating the face. It's very important that your skincare game is on point. So I used the Mara Badesco. Now I'm using the Omari Cold Hydrating Cream. I really love the amount of moisture these products bring into the skin. It's also important that in between layers you dry down properly. Now going into my primer, I'm applying that generously all over her face, not sparing any single part of the face. As soon as I'm done with that, of course, I'm going to be applying the setting spray on top. Then of course I'm also going to dry it down. Now if this is your first time here, you're welcome to Glam by Debbie. Here I teach everything beauty, from makeup to daily and to hairstyling tutorials. Please go through my channel, go through other videos, and I'm sure you'll be really glad. And also do not forget to like, to share, to comment, and most especially to subscribe. Your subscription means a whole lot and is a form of encouragement to this brand and would also help visibility so that other people who will be interested in such video would be able to find it. Now so far I've already applied her foundation. I used the Silver Mark foundation in Olive. As I've said before, I'm really loving my Silver Mark, and that's what I've been using for the past couple of months. Now making use of the concealer, I'm using the elegance concealer in fawn and creamy beige. You can see how I'm layering it. The lighter one, which is a creamy beige, I'm using on the inner corners of the eye, while the darker one, which is fawn, I'm using on the outer corner and the other parts of the face that I would be highlighting. And I'm applying the concealer with this brush, and I'm just dabbing that into the skin before I make use of my beauty blender. Right now I'm applying the blush. I'm using the CPD blush and I'm just applying that blush. Now the time in which it took me to apply the blush, the concealer had dried down a bit. That is why I am now pushing in the product into my model skin with my beauty blender. Applying contour, I'm using my Mary Kay Time Wise, and I'm just applying that on her temp, on the sides of her forehead, also doing the same on the sides of her nose to make her nose look more chiseled. Now this is a new product, guys, Switch Cosmetics. I went up for their makeup fair and got this powder, and this is my first time trying it, and I really like it because it's lightweight and it was the exact shade of my model, and that's really what I wanted. I loved the satin feel at the end of the product. So Switch Cosmetics, thumbs up to you. Now looking at what I'm doing right now, I'm applying the setting powder. I'm using the Beauty by AD setting powder, and I removed the excess on the back of my hand, and I'm just applying the remainder on the face. You know, this is just to set it in, this is just to push in the powder and to ensure that this powder remains in place before I go into the creation of my eyebrow. Now for eyebrow, I'm making use of the Davis pencil in number 18, and I'm just creating very light feathery strokes and filling in the gaps. So I'm repeating the same both on the left and on the right brow, and as soon as I'm done with how full it looks, I brush it out to further ensure it looks natural before I go into my concealer, using my concealer also in fawn and creamy beige in the early concealer, and that's how I'm highlighting this brow. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to turn on your notification bell, because all through this month I'm dropping tutorials every day or every couple of days, just ensuring that the tutorials are going out. Now you can see how I'm highlighting the top of her brow and also highlighting the under of her brow. As soon as I'm done highlighting the under of her brow with the fawn concealer is closer to her skin shade, then I go in with the creamy beige, which is lighter, on the outer corner of the brow. The reason for this is just to create that pop at the end of the brow. Now for the top of the brow, you can see how I'm taking my brush. I'm gently sliding because she already has a foundation on and we don't want any line to be on the face. We want it to look seamless. Now as soon as I'm done with that, I'm using dark shade of powder to contour the sides of her nose. This is more like setting the creamy contour that has already been used, and also using a lighter shade to highlight her brow bone and on top of her eyebrow. Going back into the switch powder, I'm setting all those areas, setting it just so the powder, the concealer, everything looks seamless. One of the beautiful things about makeup is that you need to ensure that it looks seamless. And going into my eyeshadow, of course I'm using my Luster Cosmetics, so I'm going to be applying excess setting powder under her eyes. This catches the pigment so it doesn't get into the skin. But before that, using my Ben & Clown White eyeshadow primer, I'm applying that on the eyelid. Going into eyeshadow, this dark eyeshadow, the Morph eyeshadow palette. Yes, I'm going into those dark browns and I'm just contouring the sides of her eyes using the lighter shade on the inner corners of her eyes. Now making use of the Silver Mark pigment glue, I'm applying that where the pigment would stay. Now using my pigment in amber, I really love this color. It pops, it pops, it pops, it pops. I really love it, and I'm just applying that all over her eyelid, and that is how this eye look was created. Now making use of my Sarah liner, I'm lining to give it more definition. Now if you can see closely, she already has her lashes on, but some of it were already missing, so I had to like fill it in, and this is how I did. I cut the lashes into smaller bits and just filled it in, and that's how I was able to completely fill in all the parts that had already fallen off. Now going into the lips, I'm using this brown lippy to outline her lips. Right after that, I'm going to be using my Saron lip pencil, this dark red lip pencil, to also outline her lips. So just watch as I do it. Now if you've watched to this time, you're the real MVP. We're almost done with the tutorial. Please subscribe. Please turn on your notification bell. And yes, this is me using my Zaron, and I'm just outlining the sides of her lips. Then I'm going to be filling in her lips with the Adventure lip stain. This was my first time using this particular Adventure lip stain, and I really love it. I paired it with a Zaron orange lippy also. And as you watch this tutorial, you would see where I was able to combine the red and the orange, and it came out so beautifully. So now I'm done blending and applying pencil. I'm now applying the Adventure lippy in the inner corners of her lips, and she's just smacking that out to make it well blended. And that's the Zaron orange lippy that was used, and I'm just blending that. So I'm just going to be reinforcing the line with this brush and a concealer shade, which is the fawn that is very close to her skin tone, just to ensure that the lip shape remains beautiful. If you notice very well, this is not the original shape of her lip. Her lip is a lot thinner, so I was able to outline it to make it look fuller. Now dusting off the excess setting powder underneath her eyes, I'm just dusting that off, and I'm going to be spraying my Badesco just to make the whole face look more relaxed. Then I dry that down very well before I go into the powder blush, applying that in the areas just a little bit above her eyes and down to give her that youthful glow. Hey guys, we're almost done with this look. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to comment which parts were very helpful and what products you would be using or you would be adding to your makeup game or to your makeup kits. All right, so we're almost done here. Just dusting off the excess, blending with my Switch Cosmetics powder. And also now I'm just smudging underneath her eyes to give her eyes that depth, because we're going for a radiant traditional look. And that is it guys, applying my Saron underneath her eyes and finishing off with this Fix Me setting spray. And guys, look at that, just look at my girl. This look was so beautiful, so beautiful. So this is the end of the tutorial, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow where I show you another tutorial. Until then, keep winning. Bye.